Welcome. My name is Penelope Chatterton. Welcome to Awaken the Dream. My friends, I have a new friend today. Her name is Linda Harmon. She does so many things I don't know where to begin. She is a KMI instructor. She teaches chair yoga. She's a massage therapist. You teach yoga people. You teach anatomy. You do all kinds of things. So I'd like to introduce you to Linda. And Linda, welcome to Awaken the Dream. I feel like I've known you a long time.
That's right. Thank you for having me,
Something
Penelope.
about chuckling women. I don't know what it is. It's instant.
Yes,
I'm one of
is.
many women, and we laughed a lot. And you're just one of us.
That's right.
You're a Cape Codder.
I am. Born and brought up here.
How did you get into the spiritual world? Because that's what you're in.
I think probably my entryway, as a kid growing up, I went to church. I mean, as a lot of Cape
Traditional?
Cod kids did, yes.
Yeah.
Federated Church in Katuitt.
Oh.
Going to college, I was in college during the early 70s, and a lot of things were brewing in, the culture at that time. So started learning a little bit about yoga at that time. That was my first introduction to yoga.
Good.
Started learning about some different philosophies.
Yeah.
When I came home after graduating from college, I worked as a health assistant at a local doctor's office for a few years.
Yeah. A real MD.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And during that time, I had lost a lot of weight, and I became hypoglycemic.
Oh.
And then through differing alternative health practices and nutrition, that led me to go back to school to get a master's degree in holistic health education at Lesley College.
Oh, fabulous.
And then from there, that was a sort of a self-designed program.
Yeah.
From there, I decided what I liked to do the most was the body work. I had taken some weekend and week-long workshops in massage therapy for part of my master's.
Yeah.
When I finished my degree work, I took a year off and then went to school to get my certification in massage therapy, which was in the late 80s.
Wow.
So at the time I was living in Boston and studying a lot of differing things, differing spiritual traditions and such.
Yeah.
I moved back to the Cape and started my practice. So I think it's through body work.
All right. So your body dilemma. You had some problems
Yes.
where you were hypoglycemic, because often we come from some sort of something where we need an answer to it.
Yes.
And so we're sort of driven to study what we need to learn. And
Yes.
That's great. That
Yes.
makes you so real.
Thank you.
That's great. Leslie's in Boston, isn't
Lesley is in Boston, yes.
Yeah.
So this was actually a program through Interface. There used to be a place where in Boston in the 70s, and I don't think they're there anymore.
Yeah.
But I did my graduate studies through them, and Lesley was the certifying college for the degree work.
It looks like you just took off in a lot of directions. The one
Yes.
thing seemed to have led to another, and you enjoyed it all, and you must be a student type.
I love to learn. Yeah. My mom used to call me her perpetual student.
Please stop asking questions. So the body work, you put all of this under that framework, but in particular, the title of the show is KMI, in particular, integration. Yes. So maybe you could help us specifically with what is it?
Well, KMI stands for Kinesis Myofascial Integration. Kinesis is the name of the school, founded by Tom Myers, who's been practicing for over 30 years. He is a Rolfer. He went to school at the Rolf Institute in Boulder, Colorado, and studied with Ida Rolf, who's sort of the godmother of structural integration, if you want to say that.
Really? Yeah.
She really was the first to develop this type of work, which focuses more on the fascial system, the connective tissue system.
Fascial means connective tissue?
Fascia is, yes,
Fascia.
Connective tissue. You can kind of use them interchangeably. But she was the first, or one of the first, to focus on the role of that particular part of the body in the overall health and well-being of the body.
Yeah.
So Tom studied with her. He taught at the Rolf Institute for several years. He's an anatomist.
Okay.
And through his teaching, he learned that the body's connected in what he calls myofascial meridians. So actually, I'm a practitioner now. I did do a little bit of teaching with him for a while, but stopped for varying reasons. But what Tom learned is that there's these myofascial linkages, which are muscle, tendon, bone that run from the feet up to the head, back down to the feet again, up the sides of the body, connecting the inner lines of the body. So from the outside of the body to the inside of the body and back out, there's these linkages that are actual anatomical realities within the nature of the body. And what brought me into wanting to learn this kind of work was that I had been practicing for several years doing massage therapy, neuromuscular integration, and as you know, a lot of people come to body work because they're in pain. I mean, not everyone, but a lot of people, it's like, this hurts, I want it fixed, I don't want to take drugs, I don't want to get surgery, yada yada. And I would find that I would have very, very good results getting people out of pain in the short term, but 2 weeks later they'd come back and say, shoulder still hurts. And so over time I thought, something's missing. And I thought that this type of work, the myofascial integration, was the missing link. Because with this kind of work, you don't just look at the part that hurts, you look at the overall structure. To see how imbalances in the overall structure feed into the areas that are hurt or compressed or in pain or whatever you want to call it.
So another part of the body could be actually instigating where another source is.
Absolutely.
You know, I've heard the word meridian around chakras. Are we talking the same word, or is that a different?
Similar to the acupuncture meridians. It's one thing I really paid attention to in my training. Because, for instance, in my lingo of KMI, the superficial front line is very closely connected with the stomach meridian in Chinese acupuncture. The lateral line is very closely allied with the gallbladder meridian. And oftentimes you work that particular part of the structure with people, and they'll come back in the next session and they've been mad that week. Well, in Chinese medicine, the gallbladder is associated with the emotion of anger.
Gall.
Exactly. So it's like, I kind of paid attention to that. The back line is connected with the bladder meridian, bladder and kidney. And the myofascial structures are not so different than the meridians. I mean, there's some deviation, but they're pretty close.
It's amazing what's going on in there.
Exactly.
So much. But is everything's connected?
Everything is connected.
Everything is connected.
So you'll notice people, for instance, women who wear heels, high heels, so it tilts the front of the ankle forward, it lifts the back line up. Oftentimes they'll come in with low back pain. Well, it's because to balance yourself on heels, you need to make adjustments all the way up to your head on how you're standing to be able to not fall on your face.